What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is That's Geeky AF with myself, AF, and I know that I haven't been quite active on the channel for the past week or so. That was mainly because I was so excited for the release of Superman, which came out last week. I've watched it twice already, hoping to get my third time in really soon. But man, I love this movie so much. We are going to do a quick review and a recap of this movie. And then I'll get into the countless amount of Easter eggs that I found watching this movie. So the first time I was looking for all of these Easter eggs. The second time I got to enjoy the movie a bit more, but I noticed some more on the second watch, and I'll probably notice even more on the third watch. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into what I liked about this movie. Some of the things that I probably really didn't like, and yeah, the big swings that James Gunn took during this movie. That was amazing. So yeah, let's get into it. Straight off the bat, that wasn't my most anticipated movie of the year. That was The Thunderbolts, and I gave that one a 5-star rating on Letterboxd. And because Superman wasn't my most anticipated movie, that doesn't mean that I wasn't excited about it. I was still extremely excited, and I knew that with James Gunn helming the new regime, the DCU, DC Studios, he was going to come out, he was going to bring his own creative direction into it, and we know that James Gunn always goes for big swings, and he took some big swings in this movie. It was a fresh approach, it was an authentic approach, and I think the casting was absolutely spot on for every single character in this movie. I love the fact that he gave so many characters the spotlight that they deserved, and then the ones that probably didn't get as much spotlight, there are some things in the works in terms of spin-offs and all of those things to try and flesh out those characters a bit more and just increase the world building that he's trying to do here in the DCU. So I'm just gonna go straight from the top. David Corenswet inspired casting, amazing casting. I think that he got Clark Kent, he got Superman to a T. He was so good, it feels like it just became second nature to him. He was, just in terms of mannerisms as well, if you think about right at the beginning of the film in the Fortress of Solitude, when he's dealing with Crypto, and instead of saying things like "what the hell, man," and he's such a Boy Scout, he would say "what the hey" and "golly" and all of those things. So he is Superman. He is the personification of Clark Kent and Superman. He gets it, and he's going to be the face of the DCU for probably the next like 15 years or so. And we all think back to Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man back in 2008, and how he sort of took to that character, and over the years he became the personification of Tony Stark. And it got to a point where people were saying that he became Tony Stark in real life. His mannerisms, everything was very much Stark coded, whereas I think David Corenswet is going to go down the same path. He's going to become known as Clark Kent, as Superman in real life, and I think that's the best sort of compliment anybody can give to get David Corenswet at the moment. So I think it was amazing. He was just so good. He was the standout for me. But somebody that came in a very, very close second, and I think another day, like once I keep on watching this movie over and over, I think she would probably be tied first, and that's Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. She was so good. Her energy was amazing. She matched David Corenswet's energy every single scene. She challenged him every single scene, and she just took to this role as Lois Lane, the trailblazing reporter. She took to it so well, and she was a scene stealer. Like there were times when she was in a scene with David Corenswet, but she became this introvert reporter. She just stepped into those shoes, and it was amazing to watch. She has such good energy. She is such a strong character, and there's so many different storylines from the comics that Lois Lane excelled in, and I can't wait to see Rachel actually go down these arcs because it's so amazing. I keep on speaking about Superman and Lois because that has been my favorite live action adaptation over the last like 15 years or so. And Tyler Hoechlin and Betsy Tulloch, they were amazing in those roles. It was a different Superman story. It was later in their lives. They are parents. There's so many different things that they have to encounter in those stories, but they raised the bar so high, and I feel like these two just came into it and they were amazing. It's a different era, obviously, but they just knocked it out of the park. And if this is how the DCU is starting, I am just take my money right now. They've started off so strong, the bar is so high, and I think they can only go up from this point. And that's a testament to James Gunn's writing, that's a testament to James Gunn's directing, and I just think there's so much to build on right now. They're starting to flesh out all of these characters. We can just jump real quick to the Justice Gang, and that's Isabella Merced, Eddie Gathegi, and Nathan Fillion. The three of them, all of their scenes were amazing. We didn't get much of Isabella Merced, but Nathan Fillion and Eddie Gathegi, they were amazing. Mr. Terrific, scene stealer as well. He was so good. I'm so glad that there are rumors of a spin-off project for him. So I'm keeping my eyes on that one. I think it's going to be really, really good, and he deserves it. We heard rumors and there have been rumblings of a Terrifics project coming out. So maybe this spin-off could be the beginning of the Terrifics. We already have half of the team with Mr. Terrific and Metamorpho, who debuted in this movie as well. All in all, so good. Lex Luthor, Nicholas Hoult, he hates Superman so much in this movie. Superman's only been active for 3 years, and Lex already hates him so much. And as the projects start rolling in the DCU, that hate is just going to build, and it's going to get to a point where he's going to be assembling his own team, his own Legion of Doom. He's going to be creating his super suit. There's so many things that we can look forward to with Lex Luthor, but Nicholas Hoult knocked it out of the park. He was so good. His facial expressions, his body language, it was so insane to see every single time he was in a scene with Superman, and you could see the look on his face of how much he hates this guy. He hates what he stands for, and he wants everybody to love him. So there's this tinge of jealousy mixed in it as well, and he would do anything and everything to try and take this guy down, even if it's partnering with a foreign government. And that is one of the big swings that I want to talk about, is how James Gunn just went out and had this political commentary on what's happening in Israel and Gaza. I mean, we have Jahanpur, which is literally a fictionalized version of Palestine and Gaza. And then we have Boravia, which is a fictionalized version of Israel. I just love the fact that James Gunn went there. There's so many instances of like when the troops are coming to the border and we have all of these citizens of Jahanpur, they are standing there and they are waiting to fight. They don't care. They don't care what's going to happen. They are ready to fight, and they believe in Superman. They believe in Superman coming to save them, because Superman is there to protect the world, not only them. But if we can just like take a step back and think about how the exact same thing is happening right now in real life, I mean, you have to commend James Gunn for that. Like, I don't know if he'll ever come out and admit it, but this movie is unapologetically anti-Israel, and I think everybody was so appreciative of it. It was amazing to see him go there. Everybody could read between the lines of what James Gunn was trying to do, and I think it came off really, really well. And that was an amazing start to the DCU. We really got Creature Commandos, which was an animated TV show. We get Peacemaker season 2 in about a month's time or so, which would be the first live action TV show of the DCU. And there are so many other projects that are going to be announced. We have Clayface. I don't know if that's going to be in the DCU or if it's just under the DC Studios banner. And then we are still waiting for the Batman project. There's just so much to come, and I can't wait to see where James Gunn builds on from this really solid base that he's now formed. I've given it a 9 out of 10. I've given it a 4.5, I think, on Letterboxd. So if you haven't seen it already, I really advise you to go ahead and go do it. If you have seen it already, try to go watch it again. It's really, really good on a second viewing. Stay tuned for what's going to happen next, because whenever something drops, especially now in the DCU, I love the DC comics, so I'm going to be talking about it. This is my time. I've been waiting for this for so long. Whatever happened in the DCEU, I'm just discarding that. I'm putting that very much at the back of my mind. Very excited to see what James Gunn has to do down the line. But let's get into some of the Easter eggs. I'm not going to go through like the very basic ones, because I've covered some of them in the Superman trailer, the first Superman trailer that was released. There were quite a few Easter eggs over there, so if you haven't checked that out, then make sure to check that over here, because I've covered that already in those videos. Some of the ones that really came out of nowhere was Bradley Cooper playing Jor-El, Superman's father. I heard rumblings that he was going to be in the movie, but I don't necessarily think, or maybe I missed that news where they specified that he's going to be Superman's biological father. So that was a nice little thing to run into. We get the Luthor Corp sign as well. We've seen that in the trailer as well, so I'm not really going to go into that, but it's very much Smallville coded, and we know that James Gunn was a very big fan of Smallville. He loved Michael Rosenbaum's Lex Luthor in the show, and to him he said that was his favorite Lex Luthor. He definitely wanted to call out Smallville in some way or the other. Ultraman, I covered that in my trailer video as well, so check that out. One thing I mentioned in the trailer video that I did was that it was possible that Metamorpho would be able to conjure kryptonite, because he can metamorph into any known substance, even something that he's never ever seen. In the movie, he literally conjured kryptonite to try and weaken Superman. That's the first instance of kryptonite we've now seen in the DCU. They do mention in the movie that there is no kryptonite left on Earth. I wonder what actually happened to it. Maybe we can start theorizing on that over the next couple of weeks, on what actually happened to the kryptonite on Earth. Another Easter egg is Stag Industries. In one of the moments with Superman in the background, there is a Stag Industries logo in the back. Stag Industries is one of the major tech companies within DC Comics. They are basically the reason, or the company behind the creation of Metamorpho. And another Easter egg would be that Simon Stagg's daughter, Sophia Stagg, is Metamorpho's wife, and we actually see her debut in the movie when they are watching TV. They don't necessarily say her name is Sophia Stagg, but if you check the IMDb page, if you just do a little bit of research and digging, you would find out that she's actually listed as Sophia Stagg. One of the things that made me extremely happy, and that's another thing that James Gunn, I have this assumption that James Gunn just absolutely loves DC TV, is the Jitters coffee shop. So we know that Jitters was the biggest coffee shop in the Arrowverse shows. Starting in the Flash, like, this coffee shop would be in almost every single episode, and we got the first reference in the DCU with Jitters being a coffee shop. It was, we got a view of the logo, and one of the news reporters actually mentioned Jitters while reading a news report. Another thing that I mentioned in my trailer as well is Big Belly Burger, because what is a DC project without Big Belly Burger? There's Zesty Cola, and if you don't know what Zesty Cola is, you should pick up a Nightwing book, because it really is Dick Grayson's favorite soda. We have Soda Cola as well, which is sort of a competitor in DC Comics to Zesty Cola. We get Chocos as well, which is Martian Manhunter's favorite snack. I love the fact that they've laid these like breadcrumbs everywhere for us, knowing that how much we love the comics that inspires these adaptations. And the moment we see some of these things, it's like, okay, wow, I know that. Like I've seen that before. Another Easter egg which I think was really cool was, and we've seen this in comics, we've seen this in live action adaptations as well over the years, and that is where Perry White will keep on telling Jimmy Olsen to stop calling him Chief, and it happened in this movie. So that was pretty cool. We get a Peacemaker cameo like ahead of season 2. It was a funny one, and I don't think anybody expected that one. So that was pretty cool. It came out of nowhere, and I can't wait to see more of Christopher Smith in Peacemaker season 2. The moment where Lois is in Clark's apartment and you have the Justice Gang just outside the window battling this monster, he just tells Lois it's a dimensional imp. The first thing that I thought about was Mixer Spitlick, who is a fifth dimensional imp. One of the weirdest villains in Superman and Supergirl. So yeah, I think James Gunn keeps on like doing all of these world building things, because that's what he kind of has to do on the fly. It's a brand new universe, and he feels like so many things have been told already in past DC movies, so he doesn't really want to like tell the same stories over and over. We've seen Mr. Spitlick in the Supergirl TV show as well, and like I mentioned, James Gunn, he's probably watched so many of these DC TV shows, so why not have something like this where, okay, there's just like a throwaway line, like there's a dimensional imp just outside the window, and when Mr. Spitlick eventually gets introduced into the DCU, then maybe they can call back to this event somehow. When they ended up sending Clark away to be locked up in this pocket universe, the Mr. Handsome, who Lex refers to, seems to be a white Martian, and I don't think it could be anything else. It looked very white Martian, and that, like I mentioned, world building once again. That means Martian Manhunter is not far away. We get the Hall of Justice, and at the moment it's just 3 members, and then by the end of the movie with Metamorpho, 4 members in the Justice League. So maybe later on I'm going to try to make a video of who I think is going to be in this Justice League by the time this first chapter is done. And yeah, this place is insanely huge, and there's so much more space than just for 4 members. It's worth noting there is this like pan shot where you see certain older heroes, Justice Society of America heroes. I managed to see Wildcat, I think, and Jay Garrick. So it would be cool. And the thing is, the movie starts saying 3 centuries of metahumans. So we're getting Paradise Lost. That means we will be seeing an older generation of Themyscira and Amazons, but it means that the JSA has been active. It means that the JSA had their time already. I wouldn't mind seeing a James Gunn project of the JSA set in like the 50s or the 40s. Let's see what happens on that front. I don't think that they are including that in the as a throwaway. One of the other things that I've seen, and this might be an important one, is that when everybody's evacuating from Metropolis, there's a sign that leads to Gotham City. And while James Gunn is busy identifying his Bruce Wayne and his Batman, I think this scene could be very pivotal in sort of building out that world as well. We get our first name drop of Belle over here. That's where there is Lex Luthor at the end of the movie, and he's being sent to Belle. Maybe he'll start interacting with some of the Suicide Squad members and maybe even meet Amanda Waller. You never know. That could be something that they could use as a plot point moving forward. I think that would be great, seeing Lex and Amanda working together. Maybe that could be the Waller project that we have coming up. It was one of the initial projects announced for the DCU. Clark says that he has a foster situation with Crypto. Crypto's not really his dog, he's just looking after it. And later in the movie, we see why. The moment you mentioned that, I kind of knew already what was going to happen because of a certain comic book that's being adapted to live action within the next year or so, and that's Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Later in the movie, we finally see the live action debut of Millie Alcock as Supergirl, and she is going to be amazing. That book is amazing. This adaptation is going to be amazing. And just for the few seconds or the couple of minutes that we actually saw her in Superman, my expectations for this movie just skyrocketed to the nth degree. So I can't wait to see what happens there. She is the rightful owner of Crypto, and if you read Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, you would know what sort of journey she goes on with Crypto. I think she is going to knock it out of the park. Finally, we just get some of these other smaller Easter eggs. Like I mentioned in the first Superman trailer video that I made, there's something about the Mighty Crab Jaws, which is connected to Creature Commanders. We saw Frankenstein wearing the Mighty Crab Jaws t-shirt, and then we have Clark being a fan of the Mighty Crab Jaws with a poster in his room over in Smallville. Will Reeve, the son of the late Christopher Reeve, he was a news reporter in here. Then we have all of the Richard Donner visuals for the Superman logo. Small Easter eggs like that is amazing. And yeah, there's so many more that I ended up seeing, but I feel like this video would be insanely long if I mention every single one of them. So which Easter eggs did you see? Is there anything that I maybe missed that you probably noticed? Drop them in the comments below. I would love to see what you guys picked out. I would love to hear what you guys thought of the movie. Just be nice in the comments as well. Like, everybody has a different opinion. It doesn't mean that your opinion has to bury somebody else's. Like, let people enjoy things, let people have fun at the movies. I'm insanely optimistic about what can happen moving forward. There are so many characters that still need to be explored, and as a DC fan, as a DC Comics guy, I'm insanely excited for what lies ahead. And there's going to be so many more videos that I'm going to be making about this universe and about what I think could happen in certain storylines. So if you are really interested in that, then tap that subscribe button, tap that like button, leave your comment below, and share this video far and wide to anybody and everybody you think might enjoy this content. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys, and hopefully it won't be too long until my next video. So thank you so much for joining me today, and stay healthy, stay safe, and stay geeky AF. Peace.